Good morning and welcome to the Beef and Barnzy Show, Fro edition. So I think, yes. So back again, we rehash the playoffs and anything else that might have happened in league on Wednesday night.
And the Queens.
Well, let's see what we got here. Hey, KT.
Morning. I fucked up. I'm in Cherokee, man. Damn it. I'm kind of outside at the moment.
Okay.
I completely messed up, man. I'm so sorry. I've been doing shows, calls. Oh, damn. I'm sorry, man. I mean, I can hop on for a minute if you want, but
we've been randied. So. This is what happens when you become a WWE champion. Yeah. You're on right now, by the way, too. So, you know.
Oh, I'm on?
Yeah, you're on. Well, we're on. So.
Yeah. I just seen my phone and then kind of hit me that, hey, Beef and Barnzy is right now.
Low man on the totem pole, we understand. So.
No, definitely not, man. I just came up to Cherokee last night when we're heading home here in a little bit.
Sounds good.
Anyway, I can hop on later.
Yep.
I mean, I definitely.
If you get there, hop on.
Man, I'm sorry, but
you're all right.
I feel so bad, but
you're all right.
I mean, I'll call you when we wrap it up here.
Okay. All right. No worries. Bye.
Thanks,
So there you go.
From the former, he ran his own podcast, Fro and the Scarecrow, at one point with Nate Garcia.
Yeah. So there we go.
When you hit the big time, his schedule's so busy. He actually has been on about, 8 different things, and most of them were actually,
slightly important.
Yeah.
Well, we just got big time. So, so, and I mean, he's not Belmo. Yeah, no Fro show.
I like it.
For show, no Fro show.
Oh, show.
Anyway, well, let's move along. Fuck Kyle. Let's talk about Julia Bond. So, I don't know whether you saw it. I posted a picture from League on Tuesday night. The bowling center that I bowl at, Mel's, took advantage of their of the BPAA's deal with USBC and Bowl TV.
Yeah,
and they had the Queens on every screen while we bowl League, so that was kind of cool.
A bowling center promoting bowling.
Yeah, weird.
Novel.
I know. So, so that was really cool, being able to, watch it live without having to, get your phone, have 5 people crowd around the phone or whatever. Everything went pretty well with that, being able to watch it. I was going really, really well in my predictions until my girl Liz Culkin didn't strike out in the 10th. Missy found a miracle 4-bagger, like is her way. She has definitely got that Walter Ray type gene where she could be completely lost, have a chance to win, and find a 4-bagger from nowhere for the 9th and 10th frame, which is what she did. She managed to strike out. Great shots. Forced Liz to get a double, and Liz didn't get the double. And to show how great Missy's ball reaction was, she was 49 in the 4th the next game.
Yeah.
So,
she does have the ability, and always has, to really just gut up and just go hit 11 a few times in a row and just grind. And that's when she was making shows in the Queens before, a lot of those were lower scoring venues, and she's tough as nails in that kind of environment.
So the first match was Diana against Verity. Both of them looked a little nervous. They both looked like they were not necessarily nervous to be there, but nervous in their reaction. Diana was in Diana 2.0 mode. She was knuckling it straight up 10. That's her new way now. I almost never see her hook the ball now. It's actually come full circle. She was using the X1. Verity was a little bit stuck, so she was trying to use urethane, and it didn't really look as good as it had looked for her previously. So she ended up getting out of that, and I think she changed to a PBR, but it was hard to tell. Looking up at the monitor, and in the stadium, the lighting and such, the lights are kind of in the wrong place to get a really good view of what the balls are. But it looked like she changed to a PBR or maybe a phase 2. Moved a little left. She had a pretty good finish. She put pressure on. And then Diana had an opportunity in the 10th frame to force Verity to double. Didn't take advantage, split, and that was kind of that game over. Then Verity came in against Missy. Verity actually had it was one of those weird scenarios where Verity got up in the 10th frame, and because of the count, it felt like if she could get a double, she was probably going to win. Well, in fact, if she did double, she did win. In fact, and she had I think a 6-bagger running. Unfortunately, didn't get the strike, and that only left Missy.
She threw great. She rung 10, and I was listening to it and watching it, and it was odd. It was so odd because you have two people who I think do a pretty good job with commentating, and Kelly and Carolyn, and Dave Lamont was the only one that seemed to catch the fact that the match wasn't over, and that, as a matter of fact, if Verity doubled, she shut her out. And they kept talking about things that weren't particularly relevant to what was going on. And I mean, they missed the whole drama of what was that shot. It was a huge, huge shot. And Verity, with the reaction she had at the back half of that game, was poised to make a run for a little while.
Yeah, I mean, the thing that really sucks when you're in that situation is if you get the first one, you probably win.
Probably so, yeah.
Because you force the person to double, and Missy hadn't really had a double since the 5th frame.
Yeah, she had that 4-bagger early, and she just kind of dinked around the rest of the game. She was just in grinder mode.
But when you miss, you've almost lost the match because you count so bad.
Yeah.
And you know, Missy's really good at, if you make her just throw one to hit the pocket, she's really, really good at that. And it's not like
shooter.
Yeah, so it's not like she's going to flag the spare. So, I mean, I said that. We've all seen it happen.
Of course.
But in real terms, it's just like, that's just the one that really stings. When you get up in the 10th and you've got a chance to double to shut them out, but if you miss the first one, you've probably lost. Yeah, kind of stings. Are we talking about Verity or Missy?
I don't think Verity's did when she finally.
Yeah, I think it was Missy early on. She had this. I think it was the 2nd frame. She had a pretty bad shot that she managed to get the 2-side parlay on. Anyway, then Missy made a few changes for the Liz Culkin game. Like I said, that one went down to the 10th frame. It felt like Liz was destined to win that game really at the start, and you know, just the way a lot of people's weeks come down, it came down to one shot for Liz, and Missy just performed better in the 10th frame. You know, I think Liz will be a little disappointed. She got it a little too far right. Didn't really want to come back. But, you know, still pretty good week for all of them. But Julia Bond takes a firm step into PWBA Player of the Year contention, I guess is the best word. I believe she's the only one with 2 titles. She's also won the first major. Also, the title that she won in Dallas was the kind of the overall one, although it was a little strange, but still, it was the longer format one. So, yeah, I like we were talking about. I think she's got a really solid game. She's kind of flown under the radar a little bit. She was I believe she bowled in the same youth teams as Gigi.
She's soft spoken. She's been though. She bowled in Nebraska. She's fantastic there as well. All American. I believe she was Player of the Year. She was on the radar for me the first time I got to really watch her bowl. I'd seen her name plenty, but at the National Amateur Championships, she might have been on that show with Jordan Richard, and then and just was just pure out shot making her on a pretty regular basis. And like one of the comments said, she, fundamentally she's about as sound as it gets. She posts up every shot. She has some tricks in her bag, and she's and a shot maker to boot, your favorite term. But she's very accurate and with both speed and accuracy, and pretty amazing run. Really, it's a hard tournament to qualify at the top, to run through the bracket, and then win the one game match at the end. She would have got 2 chances at it, but obviously that wasn't needed. Missy completely overachieving. When you really look back at it, she had an early 4-bagger with the squasher. She had the late 4-bagger against Liz, and the rest of it was just a mess. And she really didn't have very good ball reaction and was able to parlay it into a second place. Pretty good.
Yeah, they're always the nice ones.
Yeah.
I mean, it sucks not to win, but at the same time, when you've got that reaction, you don't feel like you're going to win a match, never mind win the whole thing. So one of the guys who really helped me out, Dave Chester. Hey, Dave. Maybe I'll see you when I come up to Fort Sill in July.
A little bit of a breaking news thing. I'm just actually seeing it now. Is that Roger Dalkin, former head of ABC, had a heart attack yesterday. All is well, but
well, that's good that all is well, and sucky that.
Yeah, good. He's going to get to the other side of it, but yeah, he was just talking. I'd seen something about it. He was talking about how good his health was and how fortunate he felt for being in good health, and then 3 days later. So
yeah, if you fuck with the man upstairs, au contraire, mon frère. Steve's picking out that she used 2 different realities. Yes, I believe she did. I saw a little bit about that. I think she had 1 shiny and 1 dull. Me and Chris were talking about this in the car yesterday. We haven't really tried a shiny reality yet.
Yeah, and I actually, it's kind of against what I try and do. I try and take big covers and big cores and put them together at the top of a list, and then move balls that kind of fit together down. But that ball has rolled so good for so many people. I think out of the 2 that I have, I may take one of them and give it a try. Just because there's enough great balls out right now, there's not a lot of need to have 2 of the same one when you're trying to create a 6-ball arsenal. So
yeah, I mean, I tend to have used a lot of the big balls shiny, but it just feels like with having like the X1 and then the UC2 as well at the same time, it's kind of like I've kind of filled that gap of like a slightly quicker big ball, or in the case of the UC2, a lot faster big ball.
I saw a comment up here from one of my favorite guys on the planet, Paul Wolf. Going old school, but she reminds me a lot of Donna Adamek at the bottom of her swing. And I know most of the people on the show haven't watched Donna bowl, but she was about 5'3", and she was one of the original power players, back with white dots, basically. And it actually is it's pretty solid, very athletic game, lots of great balance, and a surprising amount of power out of a diminutive stature.
I do like, I'm all for it, right? Brian says, "Did anybody see Julia fall off a shot?" It's a lot easier to not fall off a shot when you weigh 110 and you almost touch the ground.
That is what we're going with. That's our story. We're sticking to it.
Trust me.
We have experience on the other side of it. I don't know.
It's much easier for midgets. There aren't many 6'2" guys in the Hall of Fame. And don't start listing Steve Cook and whoever else. I'm just telling you.
Yeah.
The Hall of Fame for bowling ain't full of like 6 foot guys.
They used to say that about golf too, but I'm not seeing a lot of 5'8" guys winning on tour right now.
Rory McIlroy's terrible.
He's not 5'8" either, but
he's like 5'9".
He's like 5'10", 5'11".
No, he's tiny.
The rest of those guys are tall now. He just looks short.
Okay, we'll see. Rory McIlroy, 5'9", 161.
All right.
I'm just telling you, he's tiny. I actually saw just literally because of that. I saw a comedy skit one time, and the guy said, "Do you know what's the worst thing in the world when you're in the pub?" And he goes, when somebody goes, "What?" "The fucking internet." He goes, "Because we used to be able to go and start an argument. We could have an argument for like 10 hours about how many goals this guy has scored. Now some asshole with a phone just looks it up. You ruined the night."
There's somebody else that hasn't fallen off a lot of shots. Also not quite in the 6'2" category.
Brian says I'm 350, so I get it. See, the Beef and Barnzy show making you feel better about everything.
That's
Gravity.
What's that?
Yeah. Gravity. Yeah. It's real. It's real, people. Here we go. Gary Dickinson. Yes. Steve Cook. Yes. Wes Malott will be in there too. I get it.
There's that guy, Walter Ray.
Yeah, Walter Ray's pretty good. I guess Earl Anthony wasn't tiny. I'm just telling you.
Yeah, he's 6
I'm 6 feet. I'm definitely in the top 15%, 15 to 20% of the people on tour in height. It's
yeah.
It ain't. Cameron Doyle's the best example. When Cameron Doyle was 5'9", he was great. Now he's 6'5". Yeah.
Well,
it's not going too good for him.
Maybe. I mean, you could say the same for Wesley. When he was 4'9", he was good.
Exactly.
Now he's 5'7".
I'm making all the tall guys. There you go, love. Tall and chunky. No, that's the problem.
Well, maybe we can, Kyle's not here, but maybe you can take the role of Kyle. Maybe we can
Okay, let me get into character.
All right.
This is me sitting with my belt.
With your belt?
Mm-hmm.
So, Kyle, in preparation for the show, you seemed you seemed in a really good frame of mind. What did you do to help pump yourself up and get in that positive frame for the show?
Well, I drank some sweet tea, and I'm Kyle Troup. Ain't nobody beating me. Especially once that guy from Kegel didn't turn up. My buddy Sean was back with the Brunswick lane machine. I was good to go. Pods.
So Cooley shows a little bit less emotion than you. Occasionally has that serial killer kind of look.
Who's Cooley, bro? I was bowling the pins. I was standing in the process.
All right. The pieces with the wrestlers. What did you think about those? You get a chance to meet them, talk to them?
No, not got a chance to meet them, but man, it's awesome. Me and my dad watch it every Friday night. Got some moonshine.
The Stu Troup is on fire. Here we go. So Kyle, what balls did you use, and then what adjustments did you make out there on the lanes?
Well, I started off with the Rubicon, and then I changed to the Rubicon UC2, and then I then my ball rep told me I should try the idle synergy. Didn't need that one. Cooley didn't put up enough of a fight for me to need the third. But you know, I stayed in my process. Thanks, Jesper. Yeah, Jesper, you're my boy. So yeah, that's pretty much how I would have gone if I was Kyle. I'm the best there is, the best there was, and the best there ever will be.
Right, WWE fashion. It's perfect.
As long as we're not bowling in Reno. Love you, Kyle. I will give Kyle one thing, though, for this year. Kyle decided that he was going to do, God bless him, that he was going to do a giveaway for his score at the US Open every day. And that boy manned up every day to tell the whole world that he shot 1,400.
But he shot nothing. Yeah, he was even. No matter what we bowled on, he was even every day.
Oh, no. The 1,400 was minus 200. I think he shot 14-11 back-to-back days. And
yeah.
And he stood there and he goes, "Well, fam, it's not been the best." And then he goes, and then the second day he says, "Well, it wasn't a good day again today, but I did get to 200, baby."
Yeah, he shot a 200 game the second day.
And then because the way the patterns went, I mean, he still almost made it.
Yeah.
Just going to stick in my process. Don't care who I'm bowling.
Well, you know, that was going to be my next question, and Kenny nailed it. I'd like to go through the process of the process. So,
well, I mean, that's I would use the word proprietary, but I don't know that Kyle would use that word. It's my secret.
Most British Southern accent ever.
Yeah. Was you out of the process missing the 9-pin? I mean, spares are for losers. Big Carl don't shoot no spares. I tell you what, he was that 10th frame. He threw it fantastic the first one, and then he definitely got a little bit out of his process, shall we say? I think for the first time in a few months, he started to think about players of the year and winning the belt and what he was going to scream. And I think if he'd have needed a strike, he would have been fine. But because it was such a layup, I think his mind, like he was thinking about what he was going to scream more than he was thinking about just that. It just looked like he just, you know, because it was probably the worst shot he threw. And 7-2 there, I don't think that Cooley had the ball reaction to get all three in the 10th. But 7-2 there was a disaster. And he had the missile come out and take the 2-pin out and leave him the 8-10. And personally, I wasn't shocked to see him shoot the 8-pin, not the 10-pin. Me, if I've got that choice, I'm shooting the 10-pin.
Unless I'm hooking at it.
Yeah, unless I'm hooking at it, which, like I say, I'm shooting the 10-pin. I've shot quite a few of those in my life. I know the 8-pin with my spare ball, I don't shoot that as often. I'm not saying that it's particularly difficult to miss, but still, I think I'm shooting the 10-pin.
Super quick here. Some other things, and as well as our tournament here, the Barnes Thanksgiving Classic. Any tips for the Bowlers Journal this year? We went over this last week. Urethane looks pretty good. Your guy,
Darren Tang's leading.
Track, right?
Darren Tang took over the lead at the Bowlers Journal.
Oh, there you go.
I don't guess he was throwing a reactive ball. Jacob Buttroff's in second. I'm pretty sure he wasn't using a reactive ball. Matthew Anderson, I bowled with him. He was not using a reactive ball. Graham is also in the top 5. I think he might have actually taken over the lead from Matt, and I believe he was using a purple tank. So, yeah.
And Ryan, after going the Bowler's Journal a couple of times, built a fast pitch. So, which is the doubles and singles pattern. So, yeah, straighter lines. I mean, the Orleans doesn't really like it when you hook it a ton down lane anyway. So, yeah, keeping a little flatter through there seems to work okay. Speaking of which, I got on a team. I'm with the Fire Lake bowling team at the Okies. We'll be going there early June. So
there we go. See, sponsor the show. Privileges just keep running on.
I'm not only sponsored, but I'm a member now. So have you decided on a Manscaped process yet?
I hope for Kyle that he doesn't have 2 froze. Oh man, if only Kyle was here to defend himself.
Third option. That's me.
Somebody up here says, after this, swap Jesper for Stu. Why would he do that? They always make the lanes easy, and Jesper averages about. I can't imagine a tournament where me and Kyle would both do well, to be honest. Because most of the times that I do actually have a chance of doing well are when the lanes are impossible, and that's about the only time that Kyle doesn't do really well. And there's no keeping up with Jesper. No. Kyle can barely keep up with Jesper when they get like they are for the doubles. I think he's pretty okay. It's a bit like Dom. Pretty sure Dom isn't giving up Simonson either.
Yeah, Simonson might give up Dom, but Dom's probably not giving up Simon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is a good question. Oh, go ahead.
No, I don't know anything about this actually, but I'm not surprised. Jacob is, Jacob's a good dude. He's just a good dude. So, raising money for cancer research at USBC Open Championships.
I think he's done that previously as well.
I believe he's done it a few different times, and like I say, he's just a good guy, and it's a way to honor his mom, and all the way around. I'm not surprised at all because he's that guy. He's a good guy.
Why is the pitch purple never in the conversation with the pitch black and the fast pitch? I think the problem that people have is that the pitch purple tends to hook too much. So, for the pros, I just think that the pitch black and the fast pitch is so much earlier and like slower, and they continue, whereas the fast pitch is actually quite quick. So
it's too reactive.
Yeah.
Which means, yeah, one, it hooks more in the back than the other urethanes, which looks attractive for a little while. But then when the carry down happens, it goes much straighter when that carry down happens. And so a lot bigger transitions, which is kind of the idea of guys throwing urethane anyway, is to minimize that transition.
Yeah, I think the pitch purple was also it was also coming in to kind of help guys who didn't have as much hand to be able to get that kind of urethane look, and I think it achieves that. There just isn't that many guys on the PBA Tour who don't have that much hand, so to speak. So Frankie uses it a little bit. I actually use the pitch purple when I really want to throw urethane hard and jam it, because I feel like it actually is a little better at tipping. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like if I throw the pitch black really firm and straight, I can't get it to kind of tip through the pins. So, but I wouldn't carry it unless I was like at home or I was driving. In that gap, I'd use the fast pitch and the pitch purple or whatever. Sorry, the fast pitch and the pitch black. Oh, here we go. Did you ever get a chance to throw the original Dream? If so, how do you compare it to new equipment? Any A-Sims pulls? Whoa. There's a That's wonderful.
Well, I did throw the Dream a little bit at the very beginning. Gigantic ASIN core, which for me don't roll. Core dominant balls tend to be really early for me, even with that really clean cover. So I think that ball was pretty good for some other people. It was not as good for me. The Dream On, the solid version, tended to be way better. The Dream On was across the board.
That was really good.
Yeah, that was one of the best balls.
I
Of
guess
that area, it was the best ball.
yeah,
Of the bunch. The Teal Honey Badger's way more skid flippy than that. The cover on that Dream was good. It just wasn't great for me, and I think it was it was a ball that wasn't appreciated very much. Probably closer to the Flux Pearl. I would say probably better than the Flux Pearl at that time, but it was also cleaner, a little cleaner than that as well.
So if you're going to go with something, not saying like it'd fit kind of in between like a UC2 type ball, like a pretty strong core, or
yeah, it's a really big core. Not probably the UC2 is even probably a little bit stronger now, I would say.
So like, but if we were to take like the spot it's in, it sounds like you're really describing the parallax effect. It's just that everything's moved on a little bit. The parallax effect's got a really big, really strong core. Very
clean. You bowl on a little bit of wet dry with some friction in the front. This ball would probably be fantastic now, I would think. I think it has a chance on that because that core will blend out some of that overreaction.
I understand Adam's trying to be funny here, but no, he doesn't really.
No. Cores. Yeah.
Core.
Symmetricals.
So there's a tick for the parallax effect from Buff.
There you go.
So yeah. Well, I guess as we don't have Troup and we've covered most of the stuff, I guess we can it's we'll do a little bit of an open session for 10 minutes and then we'll call it we'll call it, Chris.
Yeah, fire. Well, this is right in your wheelhouse here. You use these two balls off of each other a lot.
For me, I tend to use the Omega Crux more shiny. So I have the Omega Crux as being a little quicker off the spot, but I know that a bunch of people tell me that they think that the RFT is. So in my bag, when I use the Omega Crux in the gap I like, I find I have them drilled differently. I have the Omega down and I have the RST up, just as we don't need to really get into exacts. And I find that the Omega is probably a little quicker and then maybe a little more forward, whereas the RST is more rounded. So
out of the box, they probably start the other way, and then they
probably. Well, I use some stronger pin Omegas, try to go straight. But yeah, that's kind of, for me, that they're pretty interchangeable. I would say that, like I say, I think that the Omega Crux is maybe a little more responsive but goes forward a little faster, whereas the RST is a little more rounded. I would say it's kind of like the difference between an Omega Crux and an Alpha Crux.
Okay.
So
big ball that would be a different look from a Halo in Phase 2. Reality has been the ball of choice pretty much all the way around.
Or an RST.
And the RST is a little bit asymmetrical. That gives you a different look off the Phase 2. Halo's a little earlier from my remembrance. I did not throw those. That's more in
Halo's pretty strong. Yeah, Halo's really strong.
Yeah.
But Brian's is shiny. So no, we're done with that section now. Have you all thrown the dart code of the UFO? No, not thrown either. The only thing I've seen about the dart code is the stuff that you've probably seen. That's on Storm's YouTube page. There's a couple of videos of each of the pros saying a few words. Mainly meaningless buzz phrases, but you're kind of stuck. You get 30 seconds to say something. You're not really going to get to explain what it really does. They throw a few strikes. Everybody's going to bitch that they only throw strikes. Well, what the fuck else are you going to throw? Like, come on. But you get like, I was kind of surprised. Chad McLean did a video with a code black and a dark code. And for me, the code black was coming back from everywhere. The dark code looked a little smoother, if anything, from what I saw, which kind of made sense and will probably make it a more usable ball for me more of the time. But for the process of that video, it left me making it look like the code black looked way more spectacular.
Yeah. So the end result of that, it means that the dark code will be a little bit overall more aggressive ball.
Yes. And it'll probably be more usable as well, or more often.
Yeah. Yeah. The dark code was pretty clean, pretty flippy. For especially for something with that big a core in it, that was a pretty clean cover, it appeared. We're talking about the green. That was probably a future iteration of kind of a ball in that same category.
Mm-hmm.
Really good for some people, but this will be more for medium to heavier volumes based off that video. And I think we'll be going over some of that here in the next week or so. It appears so.
Bowl left-handed would be my tip.
Yeah, and Baker threw more strikes there in the 80s than I threw in the rest of my career in that place.
I was about to say, my tip for there is call Wesley Lowe.
Yeah, well, Mark back in the day, he's a spin biscuit enough, with rev rate that him and Tommy Baker, he was just Tommy Baker 2.0. Yeah. Well, everybody forgets that Tommy Baker won back-to-back tournaments. Tom
Baker's legit. I love
Tommy in the 70s and 80s.
But comparing ball
he was already 50 by the time we came on tour. So, that place hooks in the front and tight down lane. And let's just say Mark wouldn't ask me to bowl a doubles tournament with him there. So,
still my favorite story ever. No. My favorite story ever was getting in the car with PA from the 250,000 TOC. We headed to Dublin, and for 9 hours, PA told me he was going to make the show, and fuck me, he did. Simonelli won his first title. Couch made the show as well. And that's when I realized that I really knew nothing, because in my mind, it said we were bowling on the same pattern as the year before. Only one lefty made it out of the top 32. That was Mike Scroggins, which was kind of a normal scenario when they weren't very good on the left, that he would be the only one who'd make it. And PA was like, "Don't worry about that, Mop. They'll sort it." He was right.
Best explanation of why Kyle stood us up. Yeah, needed the cash and took a shift back at Wendy's. Free Fridays, free Frosties. There you
go. Here's a fun one. What is your national arsenal going to be? I'm thinking that we might actually do a video on that.
Sounds good. Judge off what it is. Normally, I'm not a huge urethane guy, but there may be one in there. So, but I also am a fan of making reactives full like urethane. So there may be one of those as well.
Yeah, I think you should probably take a urethane with you, even if it's only just to go and bowl at the Bowlers Journal.
Yeah.
If Stu makes a TV show and gets in, how many F-bombs do you think he'll rip? I think I'll probably rip none, but
Yeah, we can control ourselves there a little bit.
This is my show. That's their show.
This is Mark Baker. Yeah, exactly. Knowing your lane. He does not have that Porsche. I can vouch for that. he no longer fits in it.
Barnes throwing the heaters. There's been a couple of no hitters the last couple of days. Now Barnes is Barnes is coming after it.
He's 1,500 miles away. I'm not. I got.
Yeah, Mark, I'll make up for it.
Mark Baker here. Are you struggling with your game? Do you need another set of eyes? Is there that one thing in your game you just can't fix? Please let me help you. Go to markbakerbowling.com, click on virtual lessons, and follow the 3 easy steps. Remember, you can live anywhere in the world, and with virtual lessons, I can help you. Look forward to seeing your videos. Thank you.
There you go, babe.
He was 6'5", 220, and he was living on the beach. It is a little bit different time. The car seat doesn't fit in the Porsche. I guess that could have been the other way I went with that, huh? So.
I don't know what you mean. Not sure.
Okay.
We don't have an upcoming 900 Global Bowl either at the minute.
No, there are some in the pipeline, but with the staggered releases, it's going to be a little bit before they're out. And to be honest, as much as the Zen is selling, I don't know. I don't even know if there should be another one out right now. Zen and Reality are both two of the best balls on the market, and I'm not sure he needed. Speaking of those, Sam Cooley did shoot 300 with an intensity. It looked like a Reality with all the blue oil on it. I had to look at it 3 times.
Well, he used it on one lane.
Okay.
So the ball that might have looked like the Reality, the one he threw in the 10 frame, was actually a proton physics.
Okay.
Which doesn't look like that either, but the pink had become purple because
right.
Of the oil.
Yeah,
that was the ball he used on the right lane that you might have seen the 10th frame with. He used the intensity on the left lane.
Yeah, that's why I kept getting confused. I'm like, that thing looks like the Reality. And then you look in the other lane and they finally showed the logo and it was an intensity. But even that didn't look the blue oil. And Sam's rev rate, it flares all over the ball.
Oh, yeah, he doesn't cheat it.
No. And he uses pretty strong pins on top of it because he can clear the front so easy. Yeah.
Look at this, love. Chris, you, Stu, should have a jersey bet on who makes the first show like you and me could. Why would I want to do that? Like, Linda could pay me to make that bet. Chris, the motivation of actually winning a title isn't enough for Chris. Making one of his friends wear a stupid ass jersey, that's what wakes him up in the morning.
I can get back out and get to practice and get AMF open up in the mornings for that.
Plus the next TV show is next year. So
we can make that bet if you want.
Oh, look how happy he is.
Speaking of top rope, that's my girl right there.
Yeah, that's generally the way things go. Yeah. I'm not privy to those conversations, but yes, that's generally but I mean, looking at history, I would imagine that there's going to be probably between the brands, probably 5 or 6 balls between them. And some of the ones that we're releasing now will probably be, they're obviously going to be showcased at Bowl Expo.
And real quick, to be fair, a lot of those balls get introduced there, but they're not actually released until later on.
Yeah, like Rotogrips releases are often like in August,
right?
Expo. But with COVID and everything else, it's kind of like flipped a lot of this stuff on its head a little bit. So yeah, I was a little disappointed to see LeBron escape last night. I was kind of like looking forward to seeing the refs getting the Adam Silver call for Friday night, because that would have been the NBA completely fucked if Ja Morant and his boys took out the Lakers. So, but I can't see. Yes,
Yeah.
LeBron.
He should have been a soccer player. Does anybody fake injuries better than he does? I'm about good on that whole plan. Oh, I got touched. I'm the size of Gronk.
Yes.
But this 175-pound dude brushed my side of my head with the sleeve on his forearm. I'm down. I cannot get up. I need my medic alert to get off the floor.
Yeah.
Get out of here.
It's a little rough to take at times. He is another guy who's got really thin skin. He just wants the whole world to tell he wants to tell the whole world that he was great and for them to agree. Maybe he should run for president. Kind of ironic how much of an argument him and old DT got into. They've got some of the same philosophies on stuff. Man, did you see he retweeted that he's got the lead the lead for the most years in a row with 25 points, scoring 25 points?
Oh, did he?
He retweeted it.
Oh, okay.
I'm like, dude, bro, come on. After you've just played a 30-game season, you average 25.0 points per game. Did it really count? Oh, dear. I mean, I think LeBron's great, but the whole...
Yeah, Vladdy just flopped. He didn't actually stay on the ground, roll around, hold his ankle for 14 minutes, and then, wait till a yellow card came out.
This is pretty funny.
Oh, that is true. He did say that. He was really funny back there. Look at me. I can throw powder in the air. That's a cool thing. You're making fun of me. Bro, he had a bowling center in his basement and threw it like that. You should have had to give it back.
Oh, shit. Yeah, I mean, I'm not. I think the problem is, right, is if LeBron had grown up 20 years ago earlier, everybody would think he's unbelievable and nobody would quite get at him in the same way. Like, I think as a human being, that LeBron is a much better human being than Michael Jordan, Charles Barkley, all of those. It's just that now you get every single part of his life all of the time, whereas you didn't have that access to Michael Jordan. Like, Michael Jordan wasn't building schools in where he grew up. He wasn't doing those things. Like, it's just everybody. I don't know. I think that LeBron's a really good person. I just think that he's in a bad era for doing what he does.
And that's probably fair. As much as I'm not a fan of most of the antics on the court than anything else.
Yeah, and
I don't think you can win the social media battle. That's not winnable. So
yeah, but I also with the whole thing on the court, like, I blame him because he's the best player and this best player sets the expectations. Right. So the reason why we're in an era where there's 5 good teams and the other teams absolutely stink is because of LeBron.
Yeah.
Because he set the table that it was okay to start running around. And Durant seems to be better at it than he is, surprisingly. So we'll see. I mean, I did feel a little bit for my peeps in Phoenix. They're the number 2 seed and they're a plus 200 underdog. The Lakers start minus 300 as the 7 seed. So I think that's a little strong. We'll see. I don't think that this Lakers team is as good as the team last year. So we will see what happens with that. I'm no doubt exactly wrong, but here's another one. Like, sorry. No, he wouldn't. Like,
but he would have adapted the playing style. It would have been much harder for him to play as long because the early part of his career, he wasn't a great shooter. He would have dished out way more punishment too, though.
Yeah, like, do you seriously think that LeBron's a pussy? The dude's massive. Like, I think he would have been okay. Like, I'm pretty sure it would still hurt if he'd have punched someone.
Like, yeah, I think some of the things he does is basically based off the rules that they've made. Yeah. And it's to help draw. I mean, he's just drawing fouls. It's purely the soccer.
Yeah, well, it's to avoid the Shaq scenario.
Yeah.
Shaq literally could have been fouled every single time he went down the court. Now, that wouldn't have worked out too well for Shaq because he couldn't shoot a free throw to save his life. But at the same time, like, literally 90% of the buckets he made in his career could have been an and one.
Yeah, on the other side of it, LeBron would have been an unbelievable defender because he would have been allowed
to do whatever he wanted.
Use the physicality advantage that he has.
Yeah.
There's no one in the NBA was as big as he was and as mobile. There was Charles Oakley guys, but they couldn't play like that.
Mm-hmm. Like Dennis Rodman terrorized people.
Oh, yeah. He wasn't doing it because of the size.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, it's like LeBron acts up to the rules that they play on.
Yeah.
But he kind of has to because every time Steph Curry gets brushed because he's little Steph Curry,
yeah,
they blow the whistle.
They throw a yellow flag. Yeah, this is one of those things. It comes with the territory. I've always completely disagreed with this thing. Tiger didn't sign up for all the other attention. He wanted to be the best golfer. Really wanted nothing to do with all the other obligations and social media and the fame that went with it. I don't know that LeBron is quite that insulated from it. I think he likes a certain amount of it, but in general, he's quieter than a lot of guys are until kind of forced into a hole.
Yeah.
He's used his platform way more than Tiger did, but I'm not sure that you sign up for that. You just want to be the best player. The rest of it kind of comes with it. Yeah,
and one narrative that I'm sick and tired of is people saying, and this is probably going to get me in trouble, but people saying that the basketball players can't protest Black Lives Matter, then not care about what's going on in Hong Kong. That's the most ridiculous argument in the world. That's just ridiculous. Like, so you have to care about every single thing that's ever happened in the history of the world?
Yeah.
Like, stop.
Yeah, I mean, and we're all guilty. I'm touched by diabetes. We run a diabetes fundraiser.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, but that's how the world works.
Right.
It's not that you don't care about that thing.
No.
It's just it doesn't necessarily impact you in the same way.
You're passionate about the things that impact you one way or the other, and that's what activates most people.
Yeah, and I get it.
Not everyone.
I get the fact that it isn't necessarily a good thing for them because the whole basketball scenario in China and whatever else. Mm-hmm. I get it.
Yeah.
But can't they just be commended for like trying to stick up for people in their community or their ex communities, whichever way you want to put it? Whatever. Anyway, moving on. There's a bunch of old white guys who aren't going to watch the NBA. Oh well. I'm sure LeBron's like just, crying himself to sleep over that one. So, I guess with that, we will, with that humdinger, we will watch our ratings tank and move on.
Stu for president. There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah. If he was legal, it'd be a good start. But
yeah.
He got across the border early. Well, with that, maybe we should just close this.
The guy who won with Ronnie Russell.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I forget what his name was, but the guy who won with Ronnie Russell, he was the worst.
Jalen Rose
Oh, no.
He rolled it down there at 2 miles an hour.
Yeah, that guy did as well, and he sort of jumped up and threw it, and it went. Yeah, it was
Yeah, the rapper.
French Montana.
There you go. French Montana.
From my point of view, the most famous thing he ever did was bowl on the Chris Paul.
Yeah. Maybe not quite. That wasn't on in my Apple Music rotation. He dated a Kardashian, as far as I knew. I thought that was the only reason he was on there until they told me he actually did. He had music. Let's just call it that. So, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, no. I love Jalen Rose as a player, but
just not
his thing, man. He made LeBron look okay. So.
And long may it continue. Boom. He's gonna come to Foxborough and get his ass beat.
My personal favorite Chris Paul moment. So you were almost a champ, Kevin. So you can see that. So, all right. Well, thanks for sticking along with us this ride, and I know I probably won't forget Stu impersonating Kyle anytime soon. The British sweet tea is
sweet tea.
How can we do without it? Once again, to support those small businesses and those bowling centers, help them get through this time. And if you get a chance, help support the people who support us. Storm, Rotogrip, Niner Global, Vice, Coolwick, 3G Shoes, Master Bowlers Mart, Mark Baker Bowling, and Fire Lake Bowling Center. So until next time, stay safe, stay healthy. God bless.
Bye, y'all.